Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Banished. Where we left off last time was we were going to get into some of the glass making. But before we start, I just want to do a little bit of an overview with our city and just make sure that everything's running properly. So we have a good supply of wood and stone, but we don't have a whole lot of iron. We do need some tools. We have 30 of our 47 citizens without tools. Our second blacksmith is almost completed. Looks like we have plenty of food. We have about 10,000 food. What do we have here? So we have medicine, we have plenty of clothing, and we don't have any stored luxuries. We haven't quite gotten to that point yet in the game, but we have about 1,000 fuel. So everything, all in all, looks pretty good. The only thing that we really need to focus on is getting tools up and running. So what I'm going to do, since we have plenty of stone here to accommodate some of the buildings that we are currently producing, I'm going to increase our... we'll go up that far. So we really want to make sure that we get a lot of tools. And we have enough people, why don't we just keep that at 4? So I'm going to go ahead, unpause my game here. And we will let our workers go to town on that mine. And right here, we do need a little bit of extra iron just to even be able to build a blacksmith. So we do really need that iron income come through. And I'm actually going to have this harvested as well. Looks like there's quite a bit of iron over here that we can get pretty easily. So, while that is all getting generated, we're going to go into the next section, which is going to be the glassmaker. Now, the glassmaker does require an extra resource, but first what I'm going to do is put down our glassmaker. And let's see where I want to put this guy. I have all this kind of partitioned out from the restart so that we should be able to fit everything in here really nicely. So here's our glassmaker. It doesn't require any iron, so I'm actually going to let that go. The one other resource that the glassmaker actually needs, it's going to be a little bit of a spoiler here, is the fuel refinery. The fuel refinery takes some of our just basic fuel resources and converts them into a much hotter burning resource. So I'm going to put the fuel refinery right next to our brickworks here for a specific reason, which I will get into as soon as it's built. It only requires 4 iron, so I think we'll let that one go as well. Alright, so we got our blacksmith going here. I'm going to increase that to 2 people, just so that we can get a little bit more going here. So increase our tool limit up to 200. Actually, I think our clothing limit is 500, so let's go ahead and just put that at 500 as well. Might as well. Can never have too many tools. And our mine here is at about 80%, so we have to think a little bit about getting the upgrade for that. So you can get a deeper mine. It requires 120 candles is the main resource that we have to look into. So just kind of keep that in the back of our minds, and we'll work up to that when the time comes. Now, I don't have anybody at our central market. One of the weird things about the game is you will actually get people to deliver items here. It's not going to be the most efficient in the world. They're not going to actively go out and pull stuff from a barn and move it over here. But in general, people do tend to bring certain items over here. So we don't really have a whole lot of labor we can invest in our markets, but we can put one there for now. If we ever need to pull him for any particular reason, that's pretty much the first place I'm going to go. We do have somebody at the farm supplier here, so let's see what he has. He has horses. So horses, I believe, produce the same thing as the standard cow, except they produce chevaux, and they produce leather. So chevaux's the same thing that our llamas are going to produce, and leather we get plenty of leather from our hunting lodges here. So we have 3 hunting lodges. We should have enough leather to get us going. So I'm not too concerned about that. We do have our chickens, and we do have our llamas. Looks like our llamas are almost up to max. They're producing a good amount of wool. Our chickens are producing quite a bit of eggs, and we do have plenty of food. So go ahead and dismiss that one. Right up here, I have to orient this just a little bit. I don't know how that got messed up. So this one is full coats. Again, we don't really need any clothing. We have plenty of clothing. So I'm just going to get rid of him. And let's see where we are here. So we have 33 people without tools and 53 citizens. So we're slowly getting there. Just need to make sure we produce enough tools. One option that I would have is to do crude tools. It makes 50% more tools, so it makes 3 per cycle instead of 2, but the tools don't last very long. It's a good option if I really needed to get all of my citizens tooled up, like if we were running out of food and I really needed them to work fields faster, but I'm not entirely concerned about it at this point. I'd rather they get some higher quality tools so that they don't have to replace them quite so often. Alright, so we have our glassworks here. We can produce glass and we can produce glassware. So the glass is what we're going to be using for our building material. Glassware is for the cannery, or the preservist, I believe it's called. It's in food and then processed food. Yep, so preservist requires glassware from the glassworks. And I believe that there is one form of alcohol that does require glass as well. I believe it's either the winery or the distillery. But our happiness is pretty good yet, and our health is pretty good, so that, you know, again, we're pretty much just waiting on those so that we can get some trees. We could actually use this wheat to produce mead, but we would need some bricks and we need rope. We don't have rope yet. So, like I said, it's quite a bit more complicated to build buildings in this game. What I'm actually probably going to do is, with the trading post, I'm going to start requesting materials, because we're getting to that point where we really do need some very scarce materials that we just cannot produce yet. So, alright. So we don't, yeah, actually we have our fuel refinery almost created here. Just need to wait a couple more seconds for it to complete. I was just taking a look at our fuel reserve, make sure that it is going up. And there we go. Alright, so this will produce furnace fuel. It can produce it from any one of the materials in the game. So the fire bundle from the bundling shed, which uses the crops to create a fuel source. Firewood, which is from the chopper or the woodcutter. Charcoal, that comes from our stack burner. Coke, I don't recall where that comes from exactly. That might come from the brickwork. No. Yep, so you can use coal to create coke and then turn that coke into furnace fuel, or you can just use coal to turn it into your furnace fuel. It's kind of a weird cycle, but regardless, we're just going to go ahead and use charcoal. So we'll increase that by 1. Our glassworks will go by 1. And then we need to start producing sand. So we'll go ahead and get 3 people working. We'll start those working, and then we're actually going to leave this at wool, because we are producing enough wool. I think this is going up, I believe. Let's just double check here. So production, clothing, produce 22, use 24. So we have quite a supply that we can hold off on that just a little bit here. Alright, so we have eggplant, grape, olive, potato, squash. Olives are actually pretty nice. You can make oil from them. If you go into the food production here, you can use the oil press to extract oil from the olives. And then I think you can use that oil for something like you give it to the baker and they produce, I can't even remember. It's been a while since I've gone through that chain. I don't typically use the oil press just because it doesn't give you a whole lot of extra food for what you put in. Really, the benefit of that is just to give you a variety of food so that your health goes up, and when you have more variety of food, your citizens are healthier and happier. Alright, so this is our farm supplier, so I'm not going to be creating any kind of custom order. we get enough farm suppliers that we don't really have to worry about it. So pipe tobacco, again, not a resource that we really need. At some point we can start producing our own alcohol and things like that, but we don't need to quite yet. And his trades, not all that great. It's really all happiness items and luxury goods. So we'll dismiss that one as well. Alright, so we have no wool. I think what we might need to do is light a fire under this and get that one going. But for now we should be okay. Like I said, we are producing enough clothing that we can last a couple of seasons without running into any issues. And there we go. So we got our first batch of glass. We have 28 glass coming in. Furnace fuel is going. Produced 96 furnace fuel. And I believe furnace fuel is stored in stockpiles. Yep, so the furnace fuel is right there for us. So we don't have to worry if we overproduce furnace fuel. We don't have to worry about it filling up our storage barns at all. And we already have another trader in. It's always good. Aha, there we go. So we have cotton seeds. Cotton seeds are going to be very important. I'm also going to see if I can get these figs. And we actually have 9 native artifacts. So we'll go cotton. We will go fig, and that's going to be 7,500, so that works out pretty well. And there we go. So we just do 3 of our native artifacts, comes out perfectly. We don't have to use any of our other materials to try and make up the difference. Go ahead and buy those. We'll dismiss our farm supplier so we can come back hopefully with a little bit better trades. I'm really looking for hemp. Hemp is a big one that we're going to need to be able to produce some more buildings. Alright. Now, what I want to do from here is we can do a couple of things. I can start producing a couple more homes. It looks like we could probably use some more homes. Or we could start working on getting people into a little bit better clothing. What do you think I should do? I think I might put one crop down. That's not really that big of an area. Why don't we move our tailor? I think that might be a good idea. So let's extend this road up to right about there. We will put in a new tailor. And we will put in a crop field. So we want to do 4, and we'll just do 30. And then let's actually put in 2 of these. All right. And then I believe the fig, yes, the fig is, ooh, we have some nomads. So I don't have a hospital quite yet, and it looks like our food stores are going down with the amount of people that we have, so the only thing that these nomads are going to bring are 4 extra people that are going to deplete our food and potentially bring some diseases, so I'm going to deny them for now. Alright, so field mushroom, hemp. Haha, hemp. That's exactly what I was looking for. So we'll see how much we can do here. I need 1,500 yet. So we don't have 300 arrowheads. I don't necessarily want to use up my leather unless I have to. 250. I guess we could probably do that. Alright, so that will bring us to 4,000, and I don't need anything else in here, so we'll trade that. Dismiss again. Alright, we are well on our way. So I'm going to create one more field here. 300 by 4. Start this one out on cotton. Let those cycle through. Now start this one on hemp. Then they'll cycle through a little bit and distribute our workers. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. So, what can we do now? So now we have our ropery. So the ropery is actually a very, very, very important structure. It produces a lot of materials that we need for endgame buildings. So if you take a look at some of these, I think rope is required for something. Maybe not. I guess it's only in here. So let's see what we need. I think you need rope to actually produce goods on the bed maker. Ah, there are just so many different resources in this pack. It is crazy. Alright. Very interesting. Alright. So, what I'm actually going to do is take this one and I'm going to increase it into a clothier, I believe. Actually, I'm going to do this one. So this requires 80 stone, which we have, and it requires 8 ropes, which we will get in just one moment. Was it late autumn? Actually, we'll have to wait for next season before we can start getting that. Alright, increase our farmers. And it actually looks like our farmers are actually getting all of these fields, except for... Actually, that one did make it pretty much to the end. I think we lost that one crop. So these field sizes are actually pretty efficient and probably could be a little bit bigger, actually. Once everybody gets educated, then they'll be able to go quite a bit faster. Alright, so we'll do a schoolhouse. So schoolhouse is 50, 16, 16. Then we have one room, which is 60, 18, and 18. So I think this is 20 students. This is 25 students. Let's see if we have anything else. Doesn't look like it. So we will do a one-room schoolhouse, and we'll put it right outside of our Colonial Hall here. Alright, so... nothing really that I'm interested in here. Go ahead and dismiss. Wool coats. Nothing I'm interested in here, so dismiss both of those. Alright. So, let's see how we're doing here. Inventory. So glass we have 133. It's a pretty good start. Furnace fuel we have 198. We're still within our tolerance here. Looks like we're keeping up on our stored fuel. Taylor is out again, and it looks like we're... Yep. So it's actually Charky, not Chivot. So Charky, we also get some bone meal from it, and then obviously our wool. Let's see how our eggs are doing. 168 eggs per season. And those should actually start producing meat anytime now. Alright. So let's see what we can do about expanding our food production here a little bit. Looks like we're still pretty good. We are going up on food, I believe. I think we had 10,000 last time that I looked, or 9,000. But we can always do better. Alright, so we'll start at the edge here. I leave one gap. So we can put in some roads, make it look all nice. And can we get 3 in here? 30 by 30. Alright, we can. Put in some roads. Yeah, we'll just put in dirt roads for now. We can always upgrade them later. And put a road in between. And right there. And then we will drag that all the way down. Our road right here actually goes right through our foresting lodge here, so We'll probably end up destroying that at some point. And then just move that around. And might as well finish out the roads in this area, make it all nice and pretty. Check out our trader here. We have food. Don't really need food. So what else can we buy from you? So this is a goods importer. Usually they'll have a number of items, not just food or one particular thing. So they have pretty much only food. They do have... Actually, silkworms are different in this version. It's not the silkworm you want, it's the silkworm egg, so that you can produce your own silkworms. This is strictly a food item. So, I guess it's not really all that good. Whale blubber's the other thing that is very useful because you can turn it into candles, but I actually have another method of getting candles that I'm going to do in just a moment here. So we will dismiss. In here, again, not anything we really need, so we'll just dismiss that one too. Alright, so it looks like we're actually picking our hemp right now. So we need to do, we can do flax, hemp, and this is actually a new one. You can use reeds to make rope, which is pretty interesting. Hemp is actually the best one, so it's got those 2 pluses on there. You can produce 1 rope per 100 hemp, I believe. Flax and reeds take 120, so it's a lot more efficient if you use hemp. So that's what we will do. See how much hemp we actually got. So 113, so we can only produce 1 rope so far. Once we actually get these all picked up. Alright. We are looking good. We are starting to get industrialized here. I'm actually going to pause these. I don't want my workers scurrying over there quite yet. One thing that I'm going to do in here is we can start using up our glass materials. So the country house is one of my favorite home types. It's the same size as the standard home, so it's a 4x4 with a road out in front, but it gives you quite a bit more warmth. It's more comfortable, and I think it can hold 6 people, if I remember correctly. The large residence is the best, but it requires quite a bit of resources. 60 stone, 20 glass, and 16 bricks, which don't really have the resources or the need to be producing that quite yet. Country house is my go-to. I always use this one in all of my games. Not exactly sure. It looks like there's a little tiny hill right there, so we can't build on it. So I think I'm going to be just a little bit cheaty here. Because I want to build a house there. Oops. I want to do a country house. Still can't. Oh well. I guess the tool is not powerful enough to be able to destroy that. So we'll put a couple houses out here, so then those the ranchers and people who work in this area don't have to walk all the way down here and across the bridge to get home. So this will cover a good area. Alright, so our blacksmith is out of iron again. We're not producing nearly enough iron. We do have 7 people, so let's max this one out. Give them the best chance. Our ropery is stocked. We produced 1 rope, and that rope did go here. So we are good there. What are we doing on glass? 203 glass. So this should, I think they require 10? 8. So we have more than enough glass for now. I'm gonna stock that up just a little bit yet, so that we have we can build a few more country houses, and then probably what I will do is either convert this over to glassware or just stop production on it. We don't need a ton of glass right now, and it is pretty quick to produce. Alright, so we have bison coming up. Bison produce leather, which is good. But I don't know if we need them. At some point, we do want to get rid of these hunting lodges, so I think we might want to do some bison. I'll get 3. I'm actually going to wait until this is fully produced, and then what we can actually do is move our llamas over there so that we start getting some more wool production, and then we can move our bison into here. What do we have at the trading post? Llamas. And actually, we should probably do Frisian cows. Yeah, let's do Frisian cows instead. So I'm actually just going to do Frisian cows for both of these, just because I want to make 100% sure that the next time that they come around, we get our Frisian cows. All right. So it looks like we almost have the removal done there. I'm actually going to put a stockpile up here. Just put it right about there. Increase priority on that. And then I'm going to do a remove resource from this area. Yeah, it's pretty good. So they should remove a lot of the resources here, take all these trees, put them in the stockpile, take them from the stockpile and put them right into this pasture. That should be the fastest way to get that built up. Alright, so what do we have here? We have 15 people without tools, so we're doing pretty good in that department. Still have 0 iron, because all of our iron is really going for the blacksmiths right now. See what we're doing here. So we have 3 ropes produced, which is excellent. Our cotton and hemp is going pretty good. How's our cotton doing? So 308 cotton ready from just this one field. Could use a little bit better production rate on those. But we can save that for the next time that we start expanding out. I don't want to do too many fields kind of in our main town area here. Eventually I want to use this land for expansion, and then we'll move our fields over in this area. And we have to figure out what else we want to put here as well. Alright. So one thing I also want to put up in this area is a market. So they don't have to travel quite so far to use that facility and kind of share all of the supplies that we get from up here. So we could do a rural market that covers this entire island. I think that's what we're going to do. Small market, just I don't think that it's really going to be necessary. The amount of resources is negligible. So it's about twice as many resources, but it covers just the giant area. So let's see where we can put this. We can put the road right through it if we wanted to. What I'm actually going to do is we'll do the country houses, we'll turn it, and we'll put some more country houses back to back here. And then we will do the market, we'll do the rural market, and we'll fit it right in here. So I'll match it up with the roads that are made from the homes, and then the road here. And bam. So that should be a pretty good area for a rural market. We have our other market down here that comes up to about this area, and then we have this one that's going to cover this entire area. It's good to have them overlap just a little bit so they don't have to go incredibly far. You know, this is quite a ways for a home to be able to get materials from the central market. So better to have too many than not enough. Alrighty, so looks like we're starting to produce logs here, and this is not building for some reason. I'm just going to increase priority on this entire area so they clear the resources So they're flagged to clear these resources, and they're flagged to do a remove for the stockpile itself. Yeah, that worked a lot better. And there it is. So there's our stockpile. And then I want to increase priority on all of this. Watermelon, pepper, rock melon. Again, these are all 25 to 3,000 to 3,500. So these are not utility crops. They're just luxury crops. Don't need those. Okay. Let's see how we're doing here. So we have 5 ropes. We're almost there. We're at about 31 minutes now, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. What I'm going to do is just allow some of these buildings to complete. So once this produces 8 ropes and finishes that building, wait for them to deliver their logs here, wait for them to clear this area. So some of the stuff that we just have to kind of sit around and wait for. So, oh boy, that could be a problem. We have no stored fuel left. Let's go ahead and fix that. So we'll turn off our fuel refinery so they're not using charcoal anymore to produce that. We do have quite a bit of furnace fuel already, so we can let our glass maker continue to work. And then we'll just leave this vacant for now and let them produce some more fuel. Definitely don't want our citizens to freeze to death. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.